my body has changed. In the last 90 days, I would say it's been a big transformation, and that basically comes from the fundamental change in my training. You guys know that I'm not into bodybuilding, physique, training, any of that. A long time ago when I first got into the gym, looked around, everyone was doing bro splits, back and biceps, chest and triceps, legs, whatever, all that kind of stuff, shoulders, calves. That was kind of what I did, and that's how I tagged along. I think everybody, when they first get into the gym, I suspect everyone kind of does the bodybuilding, thing. The bodybuilding world in fitness is probably the biggest portion of fitness, I would say. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree with that, but most people that come in end up doing some sort of bodybuilding split. And so I was no different. I was that kind of guy. Coming from the world of basketball, where everything's about performance. You're shooting free throws not because you're bored, because you want to improve the free throws. It was a performance-based thing. That's kind of how that's kind of like the core of me, being a performance, athlete. And, when I gave up basketball, I got into the gym, started doing the bro split, and I was kind of doing it kind of mindlessly. Well, to be honest, I did enjoy getting bigger, being a younger brother. I always wanted to be bigger and stronger, fill out a t-shirt, go out into the club, look big. I thought that's what's going to attract more chicks. That's like an 18, 19-year-old Ivan. That's how I started in bodybuilding. And then over the years, I kind of moved more towards performance type training. And when I saw people like Klokov and Lou and Clarence Kennedy and all these type of guys, I got that same feeling that I got when I first saw Michael Jordan dunk over Ewing. When I first saw, Penny Hardaway run through the paint and dunk on somebody, it was like, wow, that's cool. I want to be like that. And when I saw Klokov, I was like, I want to do that. It was a performance thing, right? And that's what made me fall in love with the barbell. It wasn't because the barbell will get you big muscles. It was because I wanted to be strong. I wanted 6-7 plates on the bar. I thought that was so damn impressive. And I always thought you needed big muscles for that initially. And then you see, Clarence Kennedy, you see some of these guys that are like half the size of Ronnie Coleman and Jay Cutler and, Schwarzenegger, but they can still move very reasonable weight. And that kind of got my interest in the whole barbell gym thing. And so for many, many years now, I'd say probably 8 years, ever since I've started properly training, ever since I was 25, that's kind of really, really started training for strength. Physique and how I looked was kind of in the back of my mind. It was not the first thought at all. But in recent times, the last 3 months, I've seen a big change in how my body looks. I've filled out, I feel it, my traps, my lats. There's thickness to me. And this is something that, us as youngsters, we want thickness in our frames, but we can't get it. There's some of us get width through lats, but the thickness kind of eludes us. And certainly I've always kind of had that thin look. But in recent times, I feel like I've put on a decent amount of thickness. And to my pleasure, I didn't get it because I was chasing the aesthetics. It was purely a side effect of my training. When I look back at the training log, I can see that around the time that I introduced regular pulling, so daily deadlifts, right? My frame started to change. And you guys know how I deadlift. It's never to volume. It's basically just working with singles every single day. That kind of evolved into every other day, 3-4 times a week. That's kind of how I've been doing it for a little while now. And it's just mostly singles. And my frame has changed. Along with that, I've also married it up with, different volume squats. So I'm working with 5s for quite some time. Now I'm working with 3s and doubles. But I'm just basically focusing on heavy weight for 2, 3, 4, 5 reps. And that's kind of what's gotten the results. But I think to precipitate this idea even further, I think that the deadlifting has done most of the change. You guys have commented on my triceps in recent times as well. all I do is bench press 2-3 times a week. I've also done bench pressing 7 days a week. And in the absence of daily deadlifting, I never saw any change in my triceps. Never. Deadlifts, however, I feel like they've brought up my triceps. Now, one of the tricep heads kind of goes into the shoulder and is responsible. There's like a bit of action there with like shoulder depression. And so you guys know that I really try to try to focus on that shoulder depression because I want to make my spine the smallest lever possible so I can move the most amount of weight. It's all about leverage, right? Not only that, so we've got triceps, we've got traps, we've got erectors, we've got lats. All of these things are targeted by one movement, that's a deadlift. For the longest time, I was like, no way, man. I reckon squats are the best lift, the most, range of motion, big compound barbell exercise. And a lot of people agree the squats are king. I still believe that, but I can't ignore the effect that my body has had when doing deadlifts. Deadlifts are basically very, very expensive, and it's a poison that can mess you up really quick. I can't tolerate a lot of deadlifting, and I've been burned by this many times over. But because of the struggle that I've had with my hips, or my right hip for a very long time, on and off, I basically jumped into this deadlifting frequency head on because I thought it was a ticket out of hip pain. And essentially it was. Squatting every day needs to be matched up with pulling every day. You can choose your pulling exercises however you want, RDLs, rack pulls, good mornings, GHRs, whatever you want to do. I've tried them all. Deadlifting has always come up as the most effective. Deadlifting of the floor is very expensive, and I basically refuse to do multiple reps per set off the floor. I just do singles off the floor. And the reason I do singles is predominantly to keep fresh the technique on how to brace and how to pull off the floor. And I've kind of relied on other exercises for my pulling volume because it's less expensive. Rack pulls are less expensive. Good mornings are less expensive. Hamstring curls, GHRs, back raises, 45 hypers, RDLs, whatever you want to say. If it's shorter range of motion, technically speaking, it's going to be less expensive. My body has changed doing one rep off the floor for the majority of this time. Adding volume now to a rack pull, which is essentially very similar to my normal pull of the floor, minus the leg drive from the bottom. So I just basically elevate, I don't know how much I elevate, maybe half a plate off the ground. I elevate the starting position by that much, and that removes the leg drive for me. Now, elevating the bar to this distance might not be the right thing for you because I have short arms. And I have a very small window where I can operate with my quads in a deadlift. So half a plate off the floor and my quads are gone because my arms are short and I have to lean over a whole bunch. So just a little bit off the ground and all of a sudden I'm like basically a vertical shin and I can't do anything. So I'm now looking at the barrel of doing every other day rack pulls for volume. I'm going to start with triples, and I've done 2 sessions now with 3x3 and then 4x3 at 220 kilos. I think what's going to happen here is my body's going to change again. I can't believe the effect that these rack pulls are having on me. Yesterday I did them. Today, once again, tight, sore, erectors, lats, traps. It's just incredible. My whole posterior chain gets a workout. My lower back, like everything is mildly sore, much less sore than the first time around. So today's session, which is basically supposed to be front squat, back squat, and then some leg pressing, was very hindered by the effects of the previous day, which was the rack pulls. But that's all I'm doing. It's incredible that one exercise can do so much damage or so much goodness. Most of the body parts involved in the rack pull are doing it are basically isometrically involved. Who would have thought you can put out size like that? You know, all the bodybuilding is about contraction, you know, eccentric, concentric, like doing actual reps. My triceps, my lats are getting DOMs from holding a position. I still find it interesting. I'm a fan of pull-ups. I am a big fan of pull-ups, and that's probably the number one exercise that I've done in terms of reps for my whole life. Like, I've been doing pull-ups since I was like, I don't know, 15, 16 years old. It's a lot of freaking years and a lot of reps. I used to go to the local park and jump on those monkey bars and do like a set of 15 pull-ups back when I was like 50 kilos. It was just easy. So I love pull-ups, and I always thought pull-ups is the best thing for lats. I don't know anymore, man. Like right now, if I'm palpating, I am like sore in my lats. Right basically by the damn kidneys, man. Like all the way down, almost near the hip. And for some people, I don't know if this is for me, for some people, the actual lats insert into the hip bone, man. Into the pelvis. So, I don't know how many times and how many different times I've done pull-ups. I get sore in that kind of teres major, teres minor, you know, that upper kind of lat, the lat's little helper is what it's called. I get sore kind of like in the upper lats, but I never am I sore like through the middle and lower part of my lats. It's incredible. And I think now that I'm thinking about it, the difference between doing an RDL rack pull versus doing a good morning, and why I was so much weaker in the good morning, especially for me, is because the lats are not engaged to the same extent. The lats are massive muscle, and it stabilizes your whole damn spine. So when you like in a squat position and you're doing a good morning, you can't engage those lats to the same extent. You can push down or you can pull down, whatever, but it's not the same as having the damn thing in your hands and really sinking your scapulars down, really sinking your lats. It's incredible. Like the rhomboids, middle, upper, lower traps, everything gets done. And today, even though I was really kind of hampered by the effects of yesterday, I felt insulated squatting. Even though I was tired and I was feeling those muscles, I felt insulated. I felt strong. It's incredible what pulling does to me. The flavor of right now is the rack pulls. At the start of the year, it was RDLs. I'm going to go headstrong into these rack pulls. I'm going to put all of my recovery points. Right now, like today I did 180 for 3 on the back squat because I was exhausted from the 10 sets of 10 doubles at 140 front squats. So I'm kind of staying away from squatting heavy weight. I'm throwing everything on rack pulls. Tomorrow when I go to the gym, I'm going to go straight in. I'm going to do my singles up to whatever, 240, 250, 260, whatever I end up. I don't really care even about the deadlift. And I'm going to just think about getting maybe 5, maybe 6. I don't know what I'll do. 6 triples of rack pulls. I really think there's something to it. The effects, you know, the 190 for 5 that I did in the back squat, I'm like solely, you know, thinking that's a result of the RDLs that I did earlier in this year. Like literally that's what I'm thinking to myself. And I kind of gave that up and I did some other things and I started squatting a whole lot and that was feeling good. And I feel like the longer I kind of went on, the more decay I had from the effects of those RDLs, and then eventually got to a point where I kind of lost that momentum that the RDLs got me. Now that I'm back to this, I really want to see. I'm going to kind of push the rack pulls, and I think the rack pulls are more difficult than RDLs because there's no stretch reflex. You are resting the thing on the pins every single time. You have to get your core tightness. So it's a much harder lift. So I'm really interested to see where this is going to lead. I feel good. I feel strong. My body has changed. Doing singles, man. Imagine if I did rack pulls for like 3, 4, 5 months. And once again, I'm not a physique athlete. Like that's not my thing. But it's nice to get the good looks secondary or as a side effect of doing something that's going to make you perform better. So that's where I'm at right now. The body's changing as a result of performance training. My squats are feeling okay. My deadlifts are feeling incredible. I'm feeling so damn strong in the deadlifts. The weirdest thing is, I was talking to one of you guys last night. The weirdest thing is, man, every single time I put in a lot of damn volume in the squat, my deadlift increases. Every single time I put in some sort of pulling motion, RDL, or whatever, my squat increases. It's like crisscross. If I focus on the deadlift, my squat increases, and then the other way around. I did a whole bunch of RDLs, 200 for 5x5, and I start smashing my squats like a freaking maniac. I got to 190 for 3 sets of 5. That's insanity, man. That's the best squatting I've ever done. I don't care about the 210. That is insane. I felt so damn strong. I'm going to go back to what worked really, really well. I'm going to smash them. I'm going to smash the hell out of the rack pulls, and let's see what happens. Anyway, guys, I could go on all night about this. I want to thank Jeffrey Wong. He's the latest supporter on Patreon. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. This never gets old to me. Like the armies, like these names I'm looking on the black screen. It's just insane how many people have put their hand up to support this. It's just incredible, man. Look how many names just on one page, man. This is the 4th page. Insane. Jeremy, man, thank you. Thank you for joining the rest of them, the rest of the people on here. Thank you for joining the community. It's just a freaking blessing. Appreciate you guys. All right, guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. All I'm thinking about is the rack pull. All right, guys. Peace out.